The next speaker we have with us is Shabana Barwa, and she is an assistant professor, Department of Political Science, Hindu College, University of Delhi. She'll be speaking on a very relevant topic, that is geopolitical readjustments in Asia post COVID 19. How should India see the new phenomenon? She her area of interest is infrastructural diplomacy as a tool of influence by China and India with a focus on Myanmar. She is also affiliated to the Kathmandu based think tank Nepal Institute of International Engagement and Cooperation as a research associate. She has also worked with the Embassy of Indonesia as a research editor for the incumbent ambassador. So we welcome you, Shabana. Please, over to you now.
Thank you, Rahul, for that introduction. I hope I'm very audible.
Yes, yes, you are very audible.
And also thank you, Fair Mishra ji, for acknowledging my presence across your college. So I think आज का जो टॉपिक है वो जो दिया गया है और जिस पे मैं बात करूंगी, it might slightly differ because जो सोशियो इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट है वो मैं in terms of domestic level पे हमने बात कर लिया है. बट एट द इंटरनेशनल लेवल हम किस तरह से उसको देख सकते हैं. हमारे सामने भारत के सामने ऐसी चुनौतियां आई है एंड हाउ वी शुड लुक एट ओवरकमिंग दिस is something that I will focus on, as Rahul has already said. Just to begin with, I agree with what Guru Prakash ji has said कि इस दौरान, ये समस्या के दौरान हमारी काम कभी नहीं रुकेगी. The government will continue to do more and more work every day. हम निजी स्तर पर शायद we feel demotivated and we not feel like working, but the world is not going to stop. तो ये कहते हुए हमें एक we have to keep looking for a hope, because I still don't think हम post covid की बात कर रहे हैं. At least from an Indian perspective हम post covid world में अभी तक नहीं आए हैं. चाइना सीम्स टू हैव ऑलरेडी एंटर्ड अ पोस्ट कोविड वर्ल्ड, क्योंकि ऐसा लग रहा है कि उनको इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है, बिकॉज जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस थी एटलीस्ट इन टर्म्स ऑफ China acknowledging the big mistake that it has done, at least in terms of letting the entire world know on time. अब इसमें भी बहस हो सकती है because the western world, USA ने बताया कि चाइना ने हमसे छुपाया है कुछ चीजें. On the other hand, China is saying that नहीं, अक्टूबर 2019 में एक कंटिजेंट आया था इन वुहान, जहां से ये वायरस फैला है, द वेट मार्केट्स ऑफ वुहान रियली. तो चाइना का कहना है कि हम बताते गए लेकिन आपने सुना नहीं, particularly the US, and because of that this has really blown out to what it is today. But all of the politics behind it cannot be denied that China was absolutely not responsible in terms of taking the right action, and we can see that because हम news में भी आया है ये बात that Dr. Wen Liang, who was a ophthalmologist who warned China about this virus back in December 2019, और चाइना ने उनको क्वारंटाइन किया, ये इंफॉर्मेशन दबाए रखा, बिकॉज ऑफ विच द डॉक्टर डाइड इन फेब्रुअरी दिस ईयर. एंड मार्च में जाके चाइना ने उनको हाईएस्ट सिविलियन अवार्ड दिया चाइना का. So it just shows that whether at a domestic level, absolutely, Xi Jinping has made big mistakes that because of which we are facing what we are today. अब इसको बाकी पॉलिटिकल लेवल पे देखा जाए, जियोपॉलिटिक्स पे देखा जाए, ये सब होता रहेगा. सिमिलरली इंडिया की भी अगर बात करें या पूरी विश्व की अगर बात करें हम, whether we really boycott China, Chinese products and so on and so forth, we will have to see that. We can't sit here and just say that, boycott this and China might just not get affected. We don't know about it. But as Edward Luttwak had recently said, that China is really an obese country which squeezes everybody. So at least at an individual level, as a big country today, as a powerful growing economy, what India can do is try and flatten China in whatever way. in a report in 2017, it was a PwC report in 2017, which predicted that by 2050, which is the mid of the 21st century, China is going to be the largest economy. And second number pe India tha, and in the fourth place was Indonesia among the Asian countries. और ये बात हो रही थी before COVID really came in. So the report doesn't take into account the COVID scenario, but even with the COVID scenario, maybe not much change in this. But what we really need to see is अगर हमारी situation आज ऐसी है, एक COVID pandemic आ गई है, so at the international level, are we going to make any geopolitical readjustments and realignments? With this, I just begin my talk in a more detailed manner, dividing into two parts. So when we talk about the opportunities, we will talk in terms of multilateralism. Multilateralism is an aspect जहाँ पे हमें आज भी बहुत सारी ऐसी अवसर मिल रही है नया through which India can really pursue its international soft power, its big brotherly attitude जो कि problematic रहा है at least in terms of South Asia की बात करें तो, but COVID के वजह से एक ऐसी situation आ गई है that all the countries are facing the same problem और इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. So the petty politics has to be kept at a low level, and we actually have to fight a real a real villain in that sense. और अगर हम multilateralism की opportunity की बात करें, we can look at SAARC, which is the South Asian area. In South Asia, we saw that SAARC का जो multilateral grouping है, उसको ऑलमोस्ट ऑब्सोलीट डिक्लेयर कर दिया गया कि ये किसी काम का नहीं है बिकॉज ऑफ द फाइट्स दैट इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान हैव बीन going on and on about the big brotherly attitude that India has been showing. So these things that actually made SAARC quite irrelevant in the recent past. And there was a new multilateral forum being increasingly talked about, not really new, but the BIMSTEC, the Bay of Bengal Multi-Sectoral Organization. So BIMSTEC actually 97 में आया था, but because SAARC had, which was even earlier, SAARC came in 1985, लेकिन SAARC का महत्व जो है वो कम होता गया और BIMSTEC का बढ़ता गया. Last if you look at the recent past, we looked that BIMSTEC has been increasing in terms of its relevance. BIMSTEC का एक secretariat बनाया गया 2014. Most recently 2017 में भी आप देखें तो BIMSTEC का जो broad range of sectors था focus area वो 16 था. 2017 में उसको that was brought down to about 5 sectors, out of which one was security. And when we talk about security in international relations, सिर्फ इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि एक वॉर होगा तो हम कैसे सिक्योर रहेंगे या टेररिस्ट अटैक करेगी तो हम कैसे सिक्योर रहे. वी ऑल्सो लुक एट नॉन ट्रेडिशनल सिक्योरिटी विच कुड बी climate change, which could be a pandemic, and this COVID-19 has actually provided us with that non-traditional security like never before, at least in the last 100 years. तो एक ऐसा मौका आ गया है हमारे सामने in terms of which we can look at cooperating with at least the South Asian countries and even beyond. Like Guru Prakash ji rightly pointed out, most अभी SAARC का एक virtual meeting हुआ March में, and because of that, at the initiative of PM Modi, in fact, हमने ये भी देखा है PM मोदी इन हिज फर्स्ट टर्म, जब वो पहली बार प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने, उनके स्वेरिंग इन में सारे 7 लीडर्स को बुलाया गया है. तो भारत का यही कोशिश रहा है कि SAARC को रिवाइव करे किसी तरह. ये इंडिया पाकिस्तान का जो द खिटपिट जो चलती रहती है उसके बियॉन्ड वी मूव एंड वी लुक एट वर्किंग विथ आवर SAARC नेबर्स. बट because that could not really take off again, because हमने पुलवामा देखा, पठानकोट देखा, उरी देखा. Therefore PM Modi started focusing on BIMSTEC again. एंड जो उनकी सेकंड स्वेरिंग इन सेरेमनी हुई है, देन वी सी दैट ही हैज इनवाइटेड द बिम्स्टेक लीडर्स फॉर हिज स्वेरिंग इन सेरेमनी. अब बिम्स्टेक really moves India from the South Asian region a little towards the southeast of it, और जो कि आजकल ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट हो गई है. Because like we have seen, जो world order है, it had already started changing from the transatlantic, which is the western countries, about whether it's China or the UK or Europe, towards the Indian Ocean, which most Donald Trump has set this notion of calling the Asia Pacific and Indo-Pacific. Donald Trump is known for giving out these terminologies once in a while. अभी recently बहुत February में वो बार instead of saying corona or COVID, उस टाइम वो terminology उतना प्रकाश में नहीं आया था, वो बार चाइनीज वायरस कहते थे. हालांकि
आज बस आज यही था काम.
There is somewhat racist connotation to that. So really the focus had started shifting. The transatlantic से Indo-Pacific तक focus already आ गया था. और जो world order है, that I believe had already started seeing a change pre-COVID. What COVID has really done is accentuate that change. जो change होने की शुरुआत हो गई थी, उसको अब सबके सामने लाके रख दिया है. And because of this, we definitely are going to see that the tempo of the change might really increase. And with this, I come to my second point, so which is basically the challenges that we are going to face and we are already facing, and how India should look at those challenges really. There is, like I said, there is no doubt कि China के वजह से ऐसा हुआ है. And again I'm saying that कि इसका मतलब ये नहीं है हम चाइना से रिश्ता तोड़ दे या डिप्लोमेटिक टाइज तोड़ दे या we stop buying their products at whatever levels. ये सब it's a different debate altogether. But the fact that we as a country should not stay back or in calling spade a spade, there is absolutely no need to protect China in any ways or in exposing the failures that it has done in the last 3-4 months. With this, I come to the challenges, which in my view is going to, how are we going to deal with China? Now, India is a country जो मिश्रा जी भी इससे एक्सेप्ट करेंगे कि वासुदेव कुटुंबकम का जो आइडिया है, भारत ने ये हमेशा even in the international aspect we have really followed the idea of Vasudeva Kutumbakam कि पूरी दुनिया is a kutumbik family है and we have to look out for each other and help each other and not be aggressive. On the other hand, what we were expecting is that China might be lying a little low for a couple of months, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ है. So last week itself हमने देखा है, and I am hoping that there will be more question answers because webinars हम 2 महीने से करते आए हैं. What will make the Guhar webinar more exclusive is the questions that come our way. So I hope there'll be an interactive session post this. But what China really has been doing is poking at not just India's borders in the recent week, but there is also a report, especially our army chief has made this remark. Whether it's true or not, we are still to find out. But he made a remark that even Nepal's claims in the Lipu Lake area was at the behest of somebody. और ये somebody कोई और नहीं था, but he meant China. So in a way, China is not stopping what it should. अब ये क्यों हुआ, कैसे हुआ? Again, we can talk about it. I personally feel इसका 2 reason हो सकता है. First reason, because at a domestic level in China, the CPC, as we all should be knowing by now, that President Xi Jinping ने 2017 में कुछ changes किए constitution में, Chinese constitution में. Firstly, उन्होंने BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, जो 2013 में launch किया गया in the name of OBOR, One Belt, One Road. In 2013 really what happened is not new. ऐसा नहीं है कि चाइना ने अचानक से अनाउंस कर दिया कि हमारे पास आज ओबोर है and we will implement it. It had already and incrementally over the last decade or so sporadic transportation connectivity projects all across the world, if I can say so, in Asia, in Latin America, in Africa. 2013 में एक्चुअली हुआ क्या कि उन्होंने एक अम्ब्रेला अनाउंसमेंट किया कि ये सारे जो स्कैटर्ड प्रोजेक्ट्स है उनको BRI के अंदर लाया जाए. With this, China really announced its global presence as a big power to be reckoned with. And in 2017, the constitution actually put BRI within its constitution, which actually made it even more geopolitically important. And the second thing that happened was that the two-term of a president in China, कि सिर्फ 2 terms के लिए president बन सकता है, वो हटा दिया गया, which really translated to Xi Jinping becoming the president for life. अब because of the COVID situation, what is happening is that there are some जो कि दबाया जा रहा है वो हम तक कभी आएगा नहीं, but internal news has it that there are some frustration at a political level of Xi Jinping's handling of the COVID situation. So what the provocations of China at the international border in the LAC and at other places is because it wants to really distract its domestic audience towards its international dealings. And the second thing is that, like I said, that China is just making a big statement because अगर हम last week की बारे में बात करें and अगर हम देखें कि लद्दाख में कैसे उन्होंने provoke किया, apparently there are about more than 5,000 PLA personnel in these sectors, and even in Sikkim, even in Ladakh. And in Ladakh area, especially across near the Gwalan River, you have to remember that's an area which doesn't really, it was really never disputed. इसमें कोई dispute नहीं था, वो accepted था. After in about 67, it was accepted. Beyond that, it was accepted. So we don't really see that beyond that also China is trying to claim territories of India. So with that, China is making a big statement that it is not going to back down at all. So we have to be very alert and keep this thing in mind. Now the government has not really responded by sensationalizing this incident last week. सबको पता है at a level, and except for Arnab Goswami who claims that टिड्डियां भी अब पाकिस्तान से आ रही है, So besides sensationalizing things, I think what the government has done is it is accepted that China is going to continue doing that, and we have to be more ready and gather at a multilateral forum possibly to really stick together and confront these behavioral aggression on China's part. So with that, I'm concluding my talk on just 2 points. The first thing is that at a socio-economic level, if we talk, अगर सार्क को देखा जाए, सिर्फ वो 7-8 countries को देखा जाए, the World Bank IMF report that had recently come out post-COVID, but like I said, the global order had started changing pre-COVID. So what really is happening is these things are going to get catalyzed more and more. But the report says that there are 4 countries in SAARC which are facing recession now. In fact, even the US apparently has a 6% slowdown in its economy. But in terms of the SAARC countries, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives and Afghanistan are the 4 countries which are facing recession. अगर आप पाकिस्तान और श्रीलंका के बारे में बात करें, तो आप देख सकते हैं कि because of China again, if not exclusively but most likely because of China, these 2 countries has really had a very big debt in the recent past because of the BRI implementation. Maldives on the other hand is actually facing recession because of the fact that उनका पूरा economy निर्भर था tourism पे और वो बंद हो गया अभी. And Afghanistan has its own problems. But the other 4 countries, really, India, Nepal, Bhutan, एंड बांग्लादेश, उनका भी जो ग्रोथ है वो 1.9 to 3% एक्सपेक्टेड है, जो कि इट्स नॉट अ वेरी गुड फिगर. तो हमें एज अ कंट्री वी हैव टू कीप द we have to keep the ardor up. We have to be enthusiastic about the fact that we all have faced a situation where uh, problems have come like never before. तो ये हमारे लिए एक ऐसी ताकत होनी चाहिए that we fight it together. एक कहावत है, जब दिल टूटती है तो बहुत शायर निकलते हैं. Similarly, we are at a very difficult time, a depressed time, if I can say so. तो हमारी ताकत दुगना होनी चाहिए in terms of dealing with it. We have to put our best to deal with the situation. And the last point is that the challenges, like I said, have always been there. Whether we talk about China's infrastructural forays across just India's neighborhood, since my specialization is in Myanmar, I would just add a point on that. म्यांमार में चाइना ने ऑलरेडी एक डीप सी पोर्ट बनाया जिसके थ्रू वो इंडियन ओशन ऑलमोस्ट पहुंच गई है. Whereas India, on the other hand, has had its projects in infrastructure, but only at a social level, not that bigger level. There is a Kaladan multimodal project there, but the pace of Indian projects have been very, very low. लेकिन कोविड के दौरान भी China has not backed down. On the 6th of May, the ambassador in China went to the Minister of Transportation to talk about the implementation of one of the BRI projects. When you don't really expect that within such a scenario there will be talks about implementation of BRI, but China is doing that. At the same time, also playing around or exercising its what has been called recently COVID diplomacy, which is again a sort of soft power. तो सॉफ्ट पावर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन गुडविल बोल के वो हो रहा है. सो इंडिया को भी ये याद रखना है that this is a time when we have to spread our goodwill in the entire Kutumbukam, that is the world around, and we have to have a reality check on what really China is doing and continue to engage at a multilateral level with our neighboring countries. With that, I hand over you to Rahul. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm looking forward to questions.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Shabana. And the questions and answer session will take place at the end of the presentation, so please bear with us. And thank you so much for such an insightful lecture where we see the evolving role of multilateralism and the challenges also which you spoke about. So thanks